Ty Jerome is no longer a Cleveland Cavalier, and we're going to break it down in this edition of Around the Water Cooler. All right, after a regular season that featured incredible highs for the guard, he was then featured on milk cartons for his playoff disappearance. Some thought that he would be given a contract, others were happily saying goodbye after he failed to show up against the Pacers. Noah, break it down for me and where you stand on this.
Um, it's tough, right? I loved Ty Jerome to the point where I was like, get me the jersey, sign him the max. I don't care in the regular season.
Uh-huh.
But we're at a point with this Cavs roster and this Cavs team that we can't have players just disappear like he did. And it was not just like disappeared like he had 10 points and he's used to having 25. I mean, he went from being an asset on the court to a net negative, whether you look at his plus and minus, whether you look at any of that. I think it's interesting to note, and I'm going to pull this up real quick, is his story post today. His story post today said, Cleveland this past year will always hold a special place in my heart, although I was never presented with the option of returning, nor did last season end how I wanted it to. I will never forget all this year brought. It's interesting because Kobe Altman and co. said that this was going to be one of their main priorities, bringing back Ty Jerome. Obviously, he is now a Memphis Grizzly. So it makes me question how much, their pivot has been since they've seen how much more open the East is and how they've seen how much more different moves have been gone around, whether it be the Magic or whatnot. What do you think about everything, man?
So first of all, just to break down real quick, as you mentioned, he signed with the Grizzlies, 3-year, $28 million contract with a player option in year three. He'll go play alongside Ja Morant for probably 5 games because I'm sure Ja will get in trouble doing something at some point during the season because that's the way it goes with him. And just to look at what he did in Cleveland, I mean, he was averaging 12 and a half points a game and shot 51.6% overall, 43.9% from three. He was up for sixth man of the year, as he should have been. Here's how I feel. I think the move mainly was to just avoid tax. That's pushing us into that luxury tax apron, the second one, which triggers pretty bad penalties. And I think, letting him walk saves probably around $42 million in tax. Is he worth an additional 42 million to be in that penalty range? Could you have done some other things? Sure. But I think they had a clear set plan for this offseason. Do we need shooting depth? Yes. But I think where we broke down a little bit was in our defense and getting out to the wing to defend. We didn't do very good, and Ty didn't really help us much in that regard. Um, Go ahead.
The only thing I think about is the contract that he signed with the Grizzlies is very similar in terms of annual percentage per year or whatever annual value per year as Sam Merrill. Let me see where he's at. He's 3 years, 28 million. Merrill's 4 years, 38 million. So a little bit, give or take. I think there's like a million or something like that involved. I don't know what exactly the math is, but they basically gave the same or a similar contract to Sam Merrill, but Sam Merrill to me looked way better in the playoffs than Ty Jerome did. He was playing lights out
Hmm.
defense. Lights out isn't the best word, but he was playing hustle defense. We saw a different side of Sam that I don't think we were used to seeing in a very long time. It's almost like that switch flipped, like it does for Donovan or a Max Struess. And we're hoping to finally see more of it out of Mobley, like we did in that Boston Celtics series when he was the only one out of the core four that was on the court for the last 2 games. I think they're just going for more of the gritty guy at this point. I think they're going for as much spacing as possible. Sam Merrill's three ball is, filthy compared to Ty Jerome's. I don't know. Length too. Ty Jerome. I don't know. I don't know. It's an
No,
interesting one that they gave the same contract kind of that Ty Jerome ended up getting in free agency.
I think you're making good points though, and it's echoing kind of the things that I'm saying is that grit. Listen, Ty Jerome is a guy that can create his own shot and give you much needed offense when you need it and when you're stagnant. What we've seen, especially against the Pacers, that kind of ball doesn't really play out well in the playoffs. We were built for regular season wins, which we got. And if he goes even a little cold, he's just a liability on the court. So I think they took that in as a factor. Um, I also think a key here, and we'll get to this more in a minute, but I think they're hoping that Lonzo Ball will be healthy enough to contribute. And between him and Merrill, you have your ball handler, you have your shooter.
And Craig Porter Jr. too. That was the next point I was going to make, is that they're kind of hoping that this conglomerate of guards makes up for it, as well as the fact that Lonzo Ball, who they got in the trade with Isaac Okoro, I know you're going to get into that too, that he has more length. He has more of these intangible assets that we need with the two small guards we have right now, whether that means he's the first piece in a Garland and Allen getting dealt, or just Garland or just Allen. Again, we don't know yet. We're not there yet. But I do like Lonzo Ball's addition to this team because he adds length, he adds that playmaking ability, not as much from the shot, but from creating for other people. I like the idea of thinking of Lonzo Ball on the lob to Evan Mobley, making him play more aggressive basketball that some of these other guards that we had last year just don't do because it's not their skill set, whereas Lonzo Ball's skill set does exactly just that.
See, this is interesting to me, and I want to dig into it more because you're looking on the offensive side. I don't think that's where the Cavs are looking at all. But let's get into it because the Cavs did make a few other moves. As we said, they re-signed Sam Merrill. They traded Isaac Okoro for Lonzo Ball. They drafted Tyrese Proctor, and then of course they re-signed Larry Nance Jr. back to the team. He was with us before. Um, my two questions for you. One, let's jump in a little more to it. What do you make of these moves? And then do you think any of them are a sign that more players could be on the move? But before you answer that, like I said, I think you're thinking offensively. I think the Cavs are thinking defensively. Yes, Lonzo Ball, that seems exciting in on that side of the ball, pun intended. Um, but he also gives us an upgrade at defense. Sam Merrill, he has the shooting off the bench, but again, yeah, he has the length. He can get out to the wings a little better, which we really struggled against Indiana. And then guard depth from Proctor. So you tell me, what do you make of the moves, and do you think anyone else is on the move?
Well, do I think anyone else is on the move? I think it's as perfect time as any to bring up this image that has been floating all over the internet today, which is one LeBron James wearing a hat on the golf course that says "Welcome home." This has now sent Cleveland Twitter, Cleveland Instagram, Cleveland Facebook, Cleveland Reddit, you name it with Cleveland. They're in a frenzy. They are in an absolute frenzy about LeBron James in this hat picture because there's been some rumors about LeBron potentially wanting out of the Lakers and the Lakers wanting out of LeBron, and let's get a trade out of this and move forward with the Luka Doncic Lakers. Do I
Right.
think there's validity there? It's so hard to tell. Probably not. But it's a fun thing to talk about nonetheless, especially in such a dead period for the sports industry, despite all the news that we have to talk about today, which is crazy. We have like 7 things to get into. Do I think there's more moves coming? In my gut, I feel like there is because they've started to make moves that make me think that more moves are coming now. Getting rid of a top 10 pick in Isaac Okoro for a guard that makes more sense, letting Ty Jerome walk. It seems like they're trying to do a little more risky business. So, yes, I do see it. In terms of Proctor, love him as an addition. Don't know if he'll play this year. I think he is the perfect mix of experience in college and skill set that we need to be a great depth guard on this team long term. We'll see. Larry Nance Jr., Erik, I said it on the show before. I want my man back. I still
You
have my
did.
Larry Nance junior jersey in my closet upstairs. So I'm really excited to see him back. I think he is the perfect kind of stretch big type of architect to come off the bench for this Cleveland Cavs team. What do you think about LeBron? What do you think about the addition, Z?
Well, first of all, I have really bad news. The LeBron hat. So my friend Audra just moved back to Cleveland from San Francisco. So the hat was wearing it for Audra. So she's back. Sorry, LeBron's not coming home. Hate to break it to you. But as an Akronite, he was just supporting her in her return. Um, no, in all reality, I think the Cavs have made it pretty clear that they don't really want LeBron back. Could he fit in this team in a role that makes? Yes, absolutely. You don't say no to the best basketball player in the world, and he's still playing at a high level, like it or not. Um, that said, what do you have to give up for him? I think it's too much, especially to what is it, 54.6 million or whatever. That's a
Yeah.
big chunk you got to eat. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. We are still a team, in my opinion, that is in win now mode. Does LeBron help that? Could he help that? Yes, absolutely. I just don't know in a way that you get that deal across the line that makes sense for all parties involved. Um,
The Lakers be doing weird shit, Erik. The
no,
Lakers
no,
do
I
some
think they
weird
want to
things.
offload that contract. I think they've signed him hoping teams would offer that. Deep down, that's my gut. Then again, though, the Lakers just sold. So, new ownership, there is no better asset to a team to sell shit than LeBron.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Would you want to get rid of LeBron in your first year of ownership?
I
That's
don't know.
that's
It's
tough.
risky. It's risky business for sure. Um, you asked me a little bit earlier about the defensive side of the thing, and I did neglect to mention that about Lonzo Ball. That does excite me as well. He's got the length and the defensive prowess up in the guard area that we need.
Yeah, he plays
Going
good
back,
D.
yeah, he does play
If
good
he
D.
when he plays, that's the question mark on Lonzo.
That's
Because
the
didn't
biggest.
Chicago say like he was career ending at one point? I
Yeah,
mean,
he
it
was
wasn't good.
he was basically out for 2 years of his NBA career. Now he's back and playing some basketball. That's the biggest question mark. Is Lonzo going to play? If he plays, he's going to be a great asset for this team. If he doesn't, at least it was a good move to move off of a Okoro's contract and kind of float around that apron status again. I want to ask you this. I keep floating the LeBron thing in there because I didn't expect to see it so predominantly talked about online today. Do you see a core, just hypothetical core of Evan Mobley, LeBron James, not Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and co working out? So, assuming we trade Allen and Garland, do you see that working out, or do you see too much ball dominance between Donovan and LeBron?
I'll say that the last time LeBron was here, he was ready to hand the team off to Kyrie. If he But he can't help himself either. The man wears a hat like that because he loves the drama that surrounds it. He's going on Twitter and absolutely loving the conversation. So I go back and forth because yeah, could we use him? That was where we were weak anyway. And especially, I mean, again, we discount LeBron's ability to be a guy that facilitates because he's one of the best in the league at that.
Yeah.
But can he take that back seat? And if the Cavs go through a stretch where they lose a series or they lose a couple games, can he help himself and not try to play lay GM like he likes to do? Those are the biggest questions. Like, yeah, that core, I think that could win championships. And I think you also attract some other peripheral talent just by bringing in LeBron. Shooters will want to come, that sort of thing. But can he help himself and just be a role guy? I don't know. We haven't seen it so far.
You don't exactly need him to be just a role guy, I don't think. I think you could bring him in here and let him do the LeBron game. Let Donovan get 25, let LeBron get 27, let Mobley get 15 to 18, but a lot of those being assists. I don't know. It's interesting to me. I am not tethered to the idea. I've been on the case of let LeBron rest for a very, very long time. I just wanted to propose some ideas out there since it's been such a major talking point. We're talking like Brad Stainbrooks even talking about this, like some bigger names, Adam the Bull, some of the bigger Cleveland local names are at the point of talking about this online because of the hat and because I think it was Hoop Legion, one of the bigger basketball publications, one of them posted about LeBron wanting out and the Lakers also wanting out of LeBron. I don't want to discredit the moves that they've made so far, though. I love the draft. I love Larry Nance Jr. as an acquisition. I love Lonzo Ball on a trade, especially getting off of Okoro's overpaid contract.
That was
I
the big
think
part,
they're,
yeah.
yeah, I think they are doing a lot of the good things right now, and hopefully it spurs into something crazy. Maybe that was in their thought process at first KD, and now that LeBron might be there, that's it. Or I don't know. Maybe they run it back because they love the core. I'm also in that mindset. I have no idea what this team's going to do. I've been saying that since they lost in round two
Hmm.
because we were all so confident. And I think that front office is included in that confidence.
Yeah, I don't know how they're thinking here. The thing I'll say, I like the moves too, but if you ask me, do any of these moves put us over the top to be a championship contender from where we were? My answer to you is no. Do I like what we're doing? Do I like, I think we're taking a hard look at the defense, how spread out we were against Indiana. But are we a better team top to bottom than we were a couple months ago? I don't think that answer is a resounding yes. And if that answer is not a resounding yes, then we haven't done enough yet. And I hope we're not done. Like you said, I hope these are moves in the right direction. And let's see what happens after this. But I'm all for using Jared Allen and using, I'm blanking, Garland.
Darius Garland, there you go.
Thank you. Uh, as chips to potentially bring in the right person or people to make this team better. As it
Yeah.
stands right now, I don't see us as a championship contender.
Well, I do and I don't because of how weak the East is. I see us as a finals contender still. I still would have said that
Well, the
even if
Bucks got stronger.
I don't know if they got necessarily stronger. Damian Lillard's gone, Miles Turner in.
Okay, Dame wasn't playing.
Next year, yeah, but like in general, it's not like they added other pieces. They weren't a contender this year. Miles Turner does not push them from what they were this year to next year
I think Miles Turner and Giannis is a duo that will work out well. A
with no
shooting
spacing.
big.
You're talking about one big that doesn't shoot, though, E.
We'll see. I'm telling you, I think it's going to work out well.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think this is hopefully a stepping stone. We're still early into the free agency period as a whole, so let's wait and see. But so far, they get a good grade. I'm not going to put a letter grade on it, but a good grade from me thus far into free agency.
Yeah, I'd give him a C.
A C.
C
I'd give it like a B minus if we're going to do the letter grade thing now.
C's get degrees.